Hello, Lakers fans. This is Wilson. Last night, the Lakers were eliminated in Game 5 of their Western Conference first round series against the Denver Nuggets. The final score was 108-106. It was another back and forth game down the stretch with the Nuggets pulling it out in the end. Very similar to the game 2. Although this time, instead of a buzzer beater, Jamal Murray hit the game winner with 3.6 seconds left on the clock. The Lakers then inbounded the ball immediately as they had no timeouts left. LeBron was cornered along the Nuggets bench along that sideline where the scores table is. Had to throw it to Taurean Prince, who just threw up a heave from half court. They didn't land. And the Lakers season, it's over. The Nuggets, at the end of the day, they're the Kansas City Chiefs of basketball. They never blink. They never flinch. To me, they're the best crunch time scoring team in the history of basketball. It's like, if the Lakers had 15 possessions and the Nuggets have 15 possessions at the end of a game, the Lakers can score on 14 of the 15 possessions and they'll still lose the game because the Nuggets will score on all 15 if they have to. And it's just an amazing team the Nuggets are. Looking at the box score, LeBron played 44 minutes. He had 30 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists, and 4 steals. He was 11 for 21 from the field. Anthony Davis played 40 minutes. He had 17 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks, but he wasn't the same after he grazed his shoulder in the third quarter and did the usual Anthony Davis histrionics. Austin Reeves played 34 minutes. He scored 19 points. Had 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. And down the stretch, it was Murray. Murray was the leading man down the stretch, as always, for Denver. But, of course, Joker did his damage, did his work. And then Michael Porter Jr. hit a big 3 on an offensive rebound. And then for the Lakers, Austin, he was the main guy for us probably down the stretch. He scored 9 points in the fourth quarter. He LeBron, and also D'Lo. It was those 3 against Murray, Jokic, and Porter Jr. basically. At the end of the day, as always, the Nuggets were just one shot better. D'Angelo played 39 minutes. He had 14 points, 6 assists, and he was 2 of 10 from 3, which isn't good or wasn't good. Rui played 34 minutes. He had 15 points and 6 rebounds. For Denver, the Joker played 41 minutes. He had 25 points, 20 rebounds, 9 assists, so a near triple-double. It was 12 of 21 from the field. Jamal played 41 minutes. He had 32 points, 7 assists. He was 13 of 28 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3, with the aforementioned game winner. And Michael Porter Jr. he was huge this series, played 46 minutes, 26 points, 8 of 12 field goals, 5 of 7 from 3. And he's, I used to wonder, okay, who's there? To me, it's obviously it was Joker 1, then Murray 2, and then Porter Jr. and Gordon. It always seemed like you could pick your pick between who was 3 and 4, but I would say this postseason early on, Michael Porter Jr. to me has solidified himself. He's their number 3 guy. The Lakers had a 27-9 free throw advantage and still lost. So, after the game, the Lakers had their exit interviews right after the game. And, obviously the whole team spoke. Everybody spoke. LeBron spoke. D'Angelo spoke. AD spoke. Darvin spoke, of course. And much will be made now about what the Lakers will do this offseason. LeBron was non-committal after the game when asked if he had played his last game for the Lakers, he wouldn't say. So he's not going to answer that. But the reports are, and Sam Amick, Shams Charania, and Jovan Buha, they did a piece for The Athletic, a story, where they say LeBron is likely to return. Darvin Ham, not so much. Tyler Conway, writing for Bleacher Report, he summarized the Athletic report. He said that Brian Windhorst noted that LeBron is building a $100 million compound in Los Angeles and loves living in the city. And I quote, quoting Windhorst here, "I know what LeBron drives in L.A., and I know that LeBron's building a $100 million compound in L.A. LeBron loves being here," Windhorst said Tuesday on First Take. "I know that winning championships is important, and on this show, we try to hold everybody. We get our fingers out. How many you got? How many you got? I think LeBron loves being here, and his family is here. And would he like to win another championship with the Lakers? Would he like to actually get his Laker parade? Yes, of course he would like to do it. Would he like to have that experience? I think he's 39, going to be 40 years old. He loves being here. He loves the life." And the story continues saying that the Lakers were reportedly willing to offer him a 3-year, $164 million contract, and would even be open to drafting his son, Bronny, to lock in his return. Once again, that's per the Athletic report by Shams, Jovan, and Sam Amick, as summarized by Tyler Conway for Bleacher Report. I also saw Windhorst say on Get Up that he expects LeBron to return. But of course, the expectation is LeBron will opt out of his. He has a player option for this season. This offseason, I should say, this summer, he's due to make $51 million. It's expected that he'll opt out, become an unrestricted free agent, and possibly, re-sign with the Lakers for even more, possibly than that $51 million. And as I said, the Lakers are willing to offer him 3 years and 164, according to The Athletic. So, and then that contradicts, though, what Gary Champion, she tweeted before the game that a friend called and told her that last night was going to be LeBron's last game with the Lakers. But you have to wonder, I don't know, at LeBron's age, and I think it's always been understood that, he came here in the first place for a certain reason, which I thought was to finish his career and kind of transition into other things as far as entertainment. And, I know everybody who's not from here, who moves here, loves it. It's funny, I used to talk to in Galvez, we would talk about how, it's my people not from LA come here and they love it, but those of us who are actually from Los Angeles, it gets kind of boring after a while. So it's just funny how that works. But, hopefully LeBron is back, because at the end of the day, I don't understand how it could be I don't know how it's a good idea to ever not be in the LeBron James business if you can be in it. Even if they're, they never won another championship, with LeBron, which you would have to think, a lot of people have said, that this is a changing of the guard that we're seeing right now. And I've said the same thing. You see, LeBron and Durant and Curry, they're out of the picture now as far as this postseason. They're not even going to be, any of them are going to be in the second round of the playoffs. And you see Shea and Anthony Edwards. These guys are young. They're on the rise. They're hungry. Joker's in his prime. And so the old guard is, they've just kind of had their day, but it's still LeBron James, right? Also from that Athletic piece, it said that the Lakers will be looking to add a third weapon. They mentioned Trae Young. Trae is due to make $43 million next year, in 2024-2025, $46 million in 2026. That summer in 2026, we'll have an early termination option. And if he doesn't exercise, he'll make $49 million in 2027, and then be an unrestricted free agent that summer. Another guy that is, a possibility, Donovan Mitchell with the Cavaliers. But though he's been linked to the Knicks, personally, I prefer Mitchell to Trae Young. Mitchell is due to make, it has nothing to do with the money. I just think Mitchell's frankly a better player. But he's due to make $34 million next year with a player option for the next year after that. And he'll be an unrestricted free agent in the summer of 2026. So player option, I guess, in the summer of 2025, and then an unrestricted free agent in the summer of 2026 if he decides to exercise that option. If he doesn't, I guess he'll be a free agent in the summer of 25. And then as for Darvin Ham, so it seems likely that LeBron will return to the Lakers, but Darvin Ham is much more, it's looking much more skeptical that Darvin Ham will be back. Of course, he signed a 4-year contract in the summer of 2022 to become the head coach of the Lakers. Last year they made the conference finals, got swept by Denver, brought mainly the same team back this year, a few pieces, Dennis Schroeder and Lonnie Walker and those guys, they were replaced. Gabe Vincent came in, Taurean Prince came in, Cam Reddish came in. I would say that Gabe Vincent, obviously, he missed most of the season. Taurean Prince was solid, I would say. Cam Reddish ended up, losing his spot in the rotation. Of course, Big Mitch on here, he was not a fan of Cam Reddish. But, we have to say, I just think that Darvin Ham, is he a good coach? I don't know. Mitch was saying, I think last episode, that they do respect Darvin, and I feel like they do play hard for him. And this was a hard-fought series against the Nuggets, man. It's 2 games that we easily could have won that came down to the last shot. We didn't. With a little luck, we could be up 3-2 right now trying to close it out in Game 6. But that's not how it works when you play Denver. Denver always wins the close ones, especially against the Lakers. So I don't know. I don't think that it's not insignificant that the guys play hard for him, but I don't think he really adds anything as far as X's and O's. I was listening to, I think it was Johan Buha on his podcast, and he was saying that inside the organization, they feel like really that they should have been in the Lakers should have been fighting for a top 4 seed, getting home court advantage. Instead, they were the 7th seed after having to be in the play-in, and then lost obviously to the defending champions, for the 2nd straight year. So I don't know. I don't really think that that's on Darvin Ham, though. I think that's more. Buha was also saying that, the stuff that Darvin was doing with the lineups early in the season, around the the new year, taking Austin out of the starting lineup, taking D'Angelo out of the starting lineup, that's 4 or 5 games that if they go in the Lakers' direction, Lakers are possibly with that 4th seed, and the most important thing is that you avoid Denver in the first round. Instead, and I look back at it now, and I was kind of always hinting at this. I thought that they should have. I think it's obvious now. And it was a competitive series, don't get me wrong, but the Lakers probably should have tanked the that 7-8 matchup against the Pelicans. And I don't know, it's hard to say. They were competitive enough in this series because when it looked like they were going to get swept, I was thinking to myself, well, they might as well have just even if I was thinking they might as well have tanked in the 7-8 matchup, and then even if you either you beat Sacramento, or who've given us trouble, or you don't. But what's the difference really between losing in the play-in and getting swept in the first round? People still are going to lose their jobs. There's still going to be changes, but they may have been competitive enough in this series that maybe the changes won't be as dramatic. Because this is a very good Lakers team. They just can't beat the Nuggets, and I don't think anybody's going to beat the Nuggets. I don't think that. Minnesota's good, and they have Edwards, and he's not afraid. But Denver's just, everybody on Denver is in their prime. Edwards is only 22. You have to remember that. Most guys don't start winning championships until they're 27, 28. Like Joker's 29 now, so he won his first championship at 28. So Denver is just primed and ready, but Minnesota, they are on the rise. But, I don't think, in OKC they swept. I'll get to the other matchups, first round matchups in a second. But so those teams are on the rise, but I don't think anybody, including Boston, can beat Denver. Denver's just, I've never seen a team. Denver plays with the same effort and intensity of like the, Pat Riley's '90s Knicks, the Chuck Daly bad boy Pistons. That's how Denver plays, especially when they play the Lakers. They just play so hard. They crash the board so hard. It's just, and like I said, they're the best crunch time scoring team, I think, in the history of the game. So they're a special team. And so Darvin, though, at the end of the day, he may have to pay the price for us for this early exit. But, Darvin will, even if that happens, I'm sure Darvin Ham will get another chance to coach, be a head coach. It's almost sort of like at USC when USC had Clay Helton as the head coach. And Clay Helton, he's a nice guy. But he probably wasn't really the guy for such a big job. And maybe Darvin Ham, if he gets a lesser job, who knows? He might win a coach of the year or something like that. So, this Lakers job, I've always said that the Lakers should be coached by someone who, two of the guys that I've always looked at and thought the Lakers should pursue for the head coaching job. Obviously, one is Mark Jackson, and a lot of people have said that over the years since he left Golden State. And the other one is John Calipari. So, because you're talking about two guys who they have the type of ego, quite frankly, but you need a big ego to coach the Lakers. The Lakers should be coached by somebody who thinks like I should be coaching the Lakers. Like Pat Riley, somebody, a larger-than-life figure. Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, somebody like that. And I feel like Calipari and Mark Jackson, they fit that mold. But we'll just have to see what happens. If Darvin comes back, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. It's just that that he's not really But I think that there are a few coaches really who actually add to a team anymore, the way that a Phil Jackson would, a Pat Riley, a Larry Brown, Greg Popovich, and all those years in San Antonio, because basically all the teams play the same style of play. So what can you really add as the head coach? When I was coming up, each team had their own style. The Lakers played different from the Spurs, who played different from the Mavericks, who played, Sacramento, they had their own style. Portland, each team was different. Each team was unique. But in modern basketball, everybody plays the same way, in the same style, the same system, the same sets. Everybody's just trying to, create threes and create shots at the basket. And so where's the originality and where is the opening for any coach to contribute anything special? I just gotta say, because I bet, I do the prize picks thing, which really I need to stop because I'm losing so much. One of the most frustrating things to me watching modern basketball is just watching how all of the guards, or wing players even, but especially the guards, play like you would think they were all Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant. There are very few players in the history of basketball who were guards who were so good that they shouldn't have had to worry about passing the ball. You know, if you're Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, you know, Tracy McGrady in his prime, but, you know, his peak with Orlando, people like that, then yeah, you can just don't even worry about it. But, you know, anybody else pretty much, and Tyler Hero's a good player. These guys are good players. But when you see your big man flashing across the middle, or you see a man cutting underneath the basket, get him the ball. You're not Michael Jordan. I just hate seeing that. It used to be big men got easy baskets from dump-offs. You hardly see that anymore. It's frustrating, especially when I'm betting on the man to do something. I need points. Elsewhere. Okay, so that's pretty much it on the Lakers until further notice. Like, the game was just last night, so it hasn't even been. It's been like 14 hours since the game ended, so it's going to be a lot more to come. But elsewhere in the NBA playoffs, so the Wolves swept the Suns, and the Nuggets have eliminated the Lakers, so they'll meet in the second round. It's a 2-3 matchup. And I kind of already touched on it. I think the Wolves are, like I said, they're on the rise. Edwards is an absolute killer, you know, but the Wolves, as I said, they're in their prime. Everybody that the Wolves had is either in their prime or nearing their prime. And they're hungry still. I think they're gonna go back to back. The Thunder swept the Pelicans, though Zion didn't play a game. And they'll get the winner of Clippers Mavericks, which is 2-2. Game 5 is going to be on Wednesday in Los Angeles. Kawhi will be out. So Kawhi missed games 1 and games 4. And those were the 2 games the Clippers won. The 2 games he played in, the Clippers lost. So that was interesting. And we'll just have to see what happens. You know, the Clippers have enough guys with. It may actually be that it just makes things a little less confusing because they have Harden, they have Paul George, they have Kawhi, Westbrook off the bench, they have Terrence Mann, they have Norm Powell. It could be like, as the great Shaquille O'Neal once said, too much heat ain't good. And we got a bunch of guys who all kind of do the same thing. You take one big piece out, and suddenly everybody can get their touches. It's a lot less confusing and a lot less clutter because of, as the saying goes, there's only one basketball. So we'll see what happens with that. And then over in the East, the Celtics are up 3-1. It's 3 games today, which is so the Celtics beat the Heat yesterday to go up 3-1. And they're pretty much going to close out on Wednesday, barring another. It should already be over because the Heat are without Butler, they're without Rozier. It should already be over. But the Celtics just let the Heat win game 2. And when it took both in Miami without much trouble, as it should be. And I'm pretty sure they're going to close that thing out on Wednesday. And there's 3 games today, all in the East. That is Knicks looking to close out the Sixers. The Knicks are up 3-1. I don't know what to say. The Sixers, they blew game 4. They lost. Didn't they lose? No, that's right. They lost the first 2 in New York. The miracle in like I call it the reverse Reggie Miller in game 2. And they won game 3 and they lost game 4. So they're down 3-1. I don't know what to say because on paper, to me, the Sixers with Embiid, who had, he's healthy enough that everybody says he's not healthy. He was healthy enough to get 50 in game 3. with Embiid and Maxey, they have two of the three best players in the series. The Knicks don't have Randall. And yet the Knicks are up 3-1 because the Knicks are just tougher than the Sixers are. And I think that starts at the top. Joel Embiid, for all his talent, and he's a monster. He's an amazing player. There's really never been anybody quite like Embiid, including, I mean, he's basically, Hakeem was listed at 7 foot. He wasn't really 7 foot, I don't think. Maybe about 6'9", 6'10". Obviously varied by leg. He could. I mean, Hakeem was Hakeem. I'm going to explain to you Hakeem Olajuwon. But Embiid at 7'1", legit 7'1", 280, 290, 300 pounds. The way he plays and what he can do is there's really never been anybody at that size like Embiid. But that 50-point game was his first signature playoff game, and he's been around long enough now where that shouldn't be the case. And I just feel like Embiid, it's obvious that he just doesn't have. It's almost like Bill Simmons in his book when he talks about David Robinson. David Robinson had all the physical tools, but he was just a little bit too nice of a guy. He didn't have that killer in him, And Embiid, I don't know how nice of a guy. I think he seems like a great guy, but I don't think it's probably that he's too nice. It's just that he's not. He's just not. He just doesn't have it. He just doesn't have what it takes. It's obvious by now. Then we got Magic Cavs. That's tied at 2. That's another game 5 for today. I don't know what to say about that one. So the Cavs, they took the first 2 at home. It looked like the Magic were out of their depth. They'd never been in the playoffs before with this group. Then the Magic took the next 2. And then now it's game 5. And, I always felt like the Cavaliers weren't really that good. And that because really they should be able to handle this young Magic team. And, we'll see what happens. My guess is that it probably ends up going 7. And the Cavaliers will win in 7. That's my guess. And then the other one is Pacers-Bucks. The Pacers are looking to close out the Bucks in game 5. Because Giannis hasn't played a game, and Dame hasn't played, I think, since game 3. So, what can you? What can you really say? The Pacers are doing, I guess, what they should be doing against such a depleted Bucks team. Obviously, it's been a disaster since Doc Rivers took over, but now they have an excuse with all the injuries and stuff. So. It's always good to have an excuse, I guess, right, in the NBA. And we'll see what happens. That game 5, by the way, it's in Milwaukee, so maybe Milwaukee will, because there was a close game in game 4. Maybe Milwaukee will tough it out. But the Pacers, if with no Dame and no Giannis, they should be able to. They should be up 3-1, and they should win the series. Elsewhere, the NFL draft was last week. Of course, Caleb Williams went number 1 overall to the Bears. Jaden Daniels, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. Caleb was Heisman Trophy winner the year before, and Jaden Daniels won it last year. He went number 2 to the Commanders. Drake May went number 3 to the Patriots. Marvin Harrison Jr. went number 4 to Arizona. Joe Alt, a lot of people thought that the Chargers should take a receiver, and instead they took Joe Alt, the offensive tackle from Notre Dame, with their new head coach, Jim Harbaugh, saying that everybody thought we should take a weapon. We look at offensive linemen as weapons. Malik Neighbors out of LSU, he went number 6 to the New York Giants. Joe Latham, the offensive tackle from Alabama, went to the Titans. Michael Penix Jr. in the most controversial pick of the draft. He went number 8 to the Falcons, which obviously the Falcons just gave Kirk Cousins $180 million. I guess the thinking is that he's only going to play 2 years of that contract, collect $100 million, and then move on to Michael Penix, who's already 25, I believe. So that was a head scratcher. Rome Odunze, he went number 9 to the Bears. Bears got a nice little squad, man. Caleb Williams, DeAndre Swift, Keenan Allen, the veteran, DJ Moore. Is that his name? And then Odunze. So Caleb's going to come in, and he's going to have some weapons right from the start. And then J.J. McCarthy went 10th to Minnesota. I don't know why. To me, J.J. McCarthy, that reminds me of Daniel Jones going number 3 to the Giants. Like, why? Why would he go number 3 to the Giants? Why would J.J. McCarthy be a top 10 pick? Well, even at Michigan, I know Harbaugh likes throwing the ball, but he didn't even. Why would he go? What would make anybody? What would make anybody think that J.J. McCarthy could be a starting quarterback in today's NFL? This is not 1984. It makes no sense. Best of luck to him. He has weapons, obviously. He has Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. So if it's any team he could go to where he's set up for success, it would be that one. Bo Nix went 12 to the Broncos. We'll see how that works. I've never really been nothing against him, but it's just certain guys that I feel like that guy is not going to be a good NFL quarterback. So I don't know about that one. And then what else we have here in the first round? Xavier Worthy went to the Chiefs, and the Cowboys drafted Tyler Guyton right behind him at number 29. So that's that. So this morning also, shifting gears because we have been following the whole Drake-Kendrick beef on this podcast. And Kendrick finally responded this morning with a 6-minute diss called Euphoria. And, I'd been of the opinion that Kendrick was taking too long. From the outset, Drake is my favorite artist of this modern era. So, I was rooting for Drake. But, of course, Drake dropped Push Ups, which was hard. He dropped the AI Tupac and Stoop track, tailor-made freestyle, which I thought was tough. And he was up 2-0, I felt like, and Kendrick needed to respond. And Kendrick drops this morning, and I gotta give it up to him, man. I thought it was tough. I thought it was very effective. And I would say right now, if I absolutely had to say, and see, one thing about it is that recency bias is real, right? So Drake dropped, and it's been like 3 weeks, it took like 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks for Kendrick to respond. And now that, Kendrick responded, because his diss is so fresh in our minds, it could sway things a little bit more in his favor. But I just thought it was, it was very, I thought it was very effective. And I don't know. And what else it did is that when he mentioned in the song, I'm paraphrasing, but he had a line about people not liking the West Coast, and it kind of triggered some type of like regional loyalty in me. Because, obviously I'm from Los Angeles and Kendrick is from Compton. And kind of made me think, okay, well, am I rooting for the Canadian guy again? But like I said, Drake is my favorite artist of this era. I think he's the best Kanye dropped what was that 2004? So Kanye's everybody says the big three, which started this thing: Cole, Drake, Kendrick. So they're considered the big three of this era of rapping. So you could say started around let's say 2010, right? And I think Drake is the best. Drake is the best artist of that generation of rappers. But I got to get up to Kendrick, and Kendrick, like I said, it's like Kendrick is from the land, as they say. So, but shout out to both of them. Now, it'll be interesting to see if Drake responds or if he just leaves it be. But I just like the way Kendrick, I just pretty much liked everything that like 95% of what he what he had to say on there, and the way he approached it, the way he was saying, don't make it personal. It's just, we just rapping, basically, and I just thought it was well done. So we have to see where it goes from here. But they're keeping it hip hop, and I can't be mad at that. All right, so before I get out of here, just a few reminders. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button next to the Complete Podcast Network. If you prefer the audio version, remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts. The show is also on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and every other major podcatcher. Make sure to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at TC Pod Network, and to like it on Facebook. Just search for the Complete Lakers Podcast. And finally, send feedback and mailbag questions to CompleteLakersPodcast@gmail.com. I am